move on to the next topic, and we're gonna talk about the Cavs and the Pistons game 6. Now, last game, the Cavs stole that game, if you ask me. Pistons were up late, Tobias Harris hit the 3, hit him with the bang bang, the fake mellow, and they didn't score after that. Now, in my opinion, the reason for that is Cade was just tired. Cade was just tired, bro. The dude played almost 50 minutes that game, and I feel like without him having help, no one to really relieve him, Dennis Jenkins, shout out to him. The kid, he's doing his thing. He's doing it. I think he got converted as a two-way player. So come on, man. You got guys like Jalen Duren out there, and shout out to Kenya Martin. I heard a video about, he said, you're young and you're still trying to figure out your game, which is true. But the effort gotta be there. You gotta play hard, bro. You're the big man on the court, man. You can't have Paul Reed out there out-producing you in less minutes. You can't. Like, you gotta go hard at the end of the day. You gotta rebound. If you can't score, at least get 10, 12 rebounds a game, 3 blocks. Give me some effort. You leaving Cade out there to dry. And if I'm a Pistons fan, you are literally the reason why we're not winning. Quite literally. You're the reason. Because if you dominated that last game, y'all would have won that game easily. Cade is clearly, in my opinion, I think he's the best player on the court, Now, him having to do so much by himself, he does turn the ball over a lot. He does try to overcompensate at times, and that leads to bad decisions, bad shot taker. And I think he gets fatigued a lot. This game, he allowed Max Strus to get up in his bushes. I'm calling it what it is. He did drop 39, but he let Max Strus get up in his bushes. Max Strus plucked him in OT, and I mean that was unacceptable, Cade. You can't have that happening, bro. So in OT, Cade only shot the ball 2 times, finishing with 2 points, and he had 1 turnover. In that same overtime, Donovan Mitchell went 3 for 3 for 7 points, and one of those points, I believe they were up. They were down 1. No, they were down 2. They were down 2. He hit the 3, put him up 2. And then Max Strus plucked Cade, and then he got another bucket off the fast break. So the Detroit Pistons, me personally, I don't think they win tonight. I think the only way they can win tonight is if the Cavaliers fold. If the James Harden that everybody's saying, they don't trust him in the playoffs. If that guy shows up and he just flats out, don't show up, they got a shot. But the Cleveland Cavaliers haven't lost at home yet in the playoffs. So this Cleveland Cavalier team, I said this earlier. I said this is the best chance James Harden is going to have, because this is probably the best team that he's been on in a while. And it's not just about the players. It's not about not saying, because that Brooklyn team with Kyrie and KD, they got hurt. That's probably really the best team. But he has 2 solid bigs, and he has a wing beside him that can get buckets, and he has shooters around him. So I think this is the best team he's had that complements his game. Now, shout out to the network. I want to give a shout out to a show, Unfazed, with my bro Joe and AJ. I watch a little bit of everybody's show. I try to catch. Sometimes I can't catch the whole thing, but I do what I can. You know what I'm saying? And on there, my boy AJ said he don't think nobody can see the Knicks. I disagree. I think this Cavs team matches up very, very well with the Knicks. The Knicks haven't played a defensive team really yet in the playoffs. You can say that the Sixers are a defensive team, but with Embiid out there, he don't move around enough for me. I'm sorry. He's a statue in my eyes, The Cavs had to play Toronto and the Pistons. Both of those teams are better defensive teams than the Hawks and the Sixers, in my opinion. So I think that is going to be what my boy Bibby would say, a bloodbath. And I can't wait to see it. That's if Harden don't Harden tonight. But as far as the Pistons, hey man, y'all gotta give my boy some help. Jaden Dern, you need to go sit yourself in a corner, look in the mirror, figure out what's going on with yourself, because this is unacceptable, bro. I got a lot of respect for you. You know, you a young cat still, so you can bounce back from this. But if you don't start tonight by bringing that effort and that fire, this offseason, you better take a long look in the mirror. Call Shaq up and say, Shaq, what I need to do. Because that's unacceptable, bro. But shout out again to Dennis Jenkins. He really earned my respect. I like his grit that he plays with, and he doesn't back down, man. That's one thing. Another player though, Asar Thompson. Love Asar Thompson. One of the better defenders that we probably gonna ever see in this game. The dude is just defensively, he can't do no wrong. But offensively, you gotta be able to do something out there, bro. That can be, you know, a little bit of coaching as well, because in my opinion, you know, you got to be able to bring the best out of your players. Asar Thompson, it's not like he can't do nothing on offense. He just can't really shoot. He can attack the basket. He can get some buckets going to the rim. You know, he's very athletic, just like his brother. And if you have sets that can allow him to do that, then maybe he can, you know, do a little more on the offensive end. I don't expect much more from Tobias Harris. I think Tobias Harris has played well enough this playoffs for them to win. He's not the reason they're not winning, in my opinion. Really quick, I wanted to put up the box score right quick from the last game. James Harden with the 30-piece. Evan Mobley. Shout out to Evan Mobley. You know, they had he had a reporter. He was talking to a reporter, and they showed he had a long gash on his face. Hey, he going to war out there. That's what I like to see from Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley stepped up big time for me these last two games. He hit that three at the end, and he just makes good decisions. You know, he's not just out there just to be out there. You know, at times, especially in the first two games, I felt like he was just out there. He's been inserting himself on the offensive side and the defensive side, and it shows in the play. Last game, he had 19, 8, and 8. I mean, come on now. Your big man getting 19, 8, and 8, and he had 3 blocks and 1 steal. He just stuffs the stat sheet. Shout out to him, and shout out to James Harden, and also Donovan Mitchell for sealing the deal. And we got to give a huge shout out to Dean Wade and Max Strus. Max Strus played some good defense at the end. I can't even lie about that. But also, Cade, when it comes down to the nitty-gritty, when y'all up, you got to control the pace of the game. You can't trust everybody on the moments. You just can't. I know you're that guy that's a point guard. You're that guy that, you know what I'm saying, likes to get everybody involved. But sometimes it's Cade time. We're going to get this shot at this moment because this is what it's called for. All right? Shout out to that, though.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.